Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to EDE 7473 Entrepreneurship in Education. So the second chapter, the topic is entrepreneurial motivation and competency. Alright, we move on to the learning outcomes. By the end of the session, you should be able to, number one, explain and demonstrate the key entrepreneurial motivation, and number two, explain and demonstrate competency of successful entrepreneurs. So in this chapter, basically, we're going to talk about what motivates entrepreneurs to be in the business. Alright, so there are two questions here. Number one, what makes people responsive to opportunity? And number two, what drives them to entrepreneurship? So to answer these two questions, of course, we have to go through to analyze the entrepreneurial motivation. So basically in this chapter, we're going to talk about what motivates entrepreneurs in the business or in the entrepreneurship. Alright, so motivation is defined as a drive that causes a person to take some goal-oriented action. So you have to achieve something, which we call it goal-oriented action, and we want to know what really drives them to take these goals as part of their oriented action. Next, motivational theories are based on the idea that behavior is essentially purposeful and directed towards the attainment of the certain goal. It means that the theory will tell you what actually drives the entrepreneurs to achieve something in their entrepreneurial business and so on. As such, entrepreneurial motivation is viewed as the willingness of an entrepreneur to sustain his or her entrepreneurial behavior. So the behavior actually comes from the motivation that each and every one of entrepreneur has. Okay, the next one is this is a part of theory, David McClellan theory. So there are three needs. Yeah, number one is the need for achievement. Number two, the need for power, and the need for affiliation. Each and every one of us, we do have this kind of needs in ourselves. Yeah, but which dominate the most is depend on the person, he or herself. Okay, so this number one, the need for achievement, actually motivate, drive to what are the things, yeah, in achievement, the motive. First, drive to do well, strive for excellence, and overcome challenges and obstacles in the pursuit of goals. So you know what you want in your life, you know what you want to do, you know that you are a good initiator, you are the one who strive for excellence, and to overcome any challenges and obstacles is very, very important in the entrepreneurship. Number two, the need for power. This is more to the power motive, which drive to control, to influence others, to have impact on others and change the situation. So we can see that these people are actually would like to control others and to influence others so that they be able to change the situations. Number three is the need for affiliation. Yeah, the word affiliation is affiliate. Affiliate means you would like to maintain or renew effective relationship with others. Yeah, you don't want to have very aggressive kind of actions. You want to have a harmonious kind of situation. And so that is what you want to have to maintain relationship among others. So all three motives may exist together in a person, as I mentioned before, but one usually more dominant than the other motives for most of the individual's actions. So having said that, that everyone, we do have all these needs. Yeah, the need for achievement, the need for power, the need for affiliation. But which one is dominant is depend on that particular person. Alright. Now we move on to detail of the high need for achievement. So high need for achievement has been identified as the crucial motive that influence for most of venture creation and entrepreneurship. so that we found out that those who have high need for achievement, they are more suitable to become an entrepreneur. Okay, so individual with high need for achievement found in most good business founders. So the founder actually, they have this characteristic, or they have a high need for achievement in order for them to direct their business and so on. So the need for achievement also is known as urge to improve. Keep on improving, get feedback from others, so that you'll be able to improvise your product, for example, improvise your service, for example, and keep on doing some improvement. Besides that also, they are actually really put their effort, put their strategy, put their a lot of drive, initiative, yeah, to become, because they want to achieve something that which actually in their business. All right, the next one will be high need for power. As I mentioned in the earlier slide, these people is actually, they would like to seek for position of leadership. They like to control, they would like to influence others. So who are they actually? They are potentially to be good managers, executive, or even supervisors, because they are the one who will control others and influence others to do things for their company and so on. So this, when we interview these people, we can see that they are actually really hold their position as a leadership, so they be able to control other people in the company. Okay, those who have high need for affiliation, these people is actually desire in life is to establish, maintain, or even to renew effective relationship with others. That means they want to maintain, to foster a very good relationship among others, and they are potentially to be good social workers, because they can listen to others, they can understand others people feeling and so on. So these are people who really, you want to hire these people, is very good, especially in the field of social workers. So as an entrepreneur, the need for affiliation is to, they also have this kind of needs, yeah, to a certain extent may contribute to the drive for maintaining effective business networking. Yeah, they also need people to have a good networking, good relationship with customers, for example, with the suppliers, for example. So these are actually partly need is those people in the entrepreneurship. Okay, so we have discussed earlier about three different needs, which is need for achievement, the need for power, and the need for affiliation. So this is the one theory of from David McCullen on the needs of people. Yeah. All right. So now we move on to the common characteristics associated with achievement-oriented entrepreneurs. For number one, entrepreneurs, they have their own drive to achieve. So internally, self-driven starter with strong desire, they want to compete with others, and to excel with self-imposed standard. They have their own standard. They want to, when they put a standard, so we call it self-imposed standard. They want to achieve their own self-imposed standard. I believe that everyone here, we do have our own self-imposed standard. And to pursue and attain challenging goal is part of the drive to achieve. So achievement-oriented entrepreneurs also, they have calculated risk-taking, which high achievers tend to make moderated or calculated risk. They don't simply, do something without taking into consideration of risk. Yeah. So what they would do, they will examine the situation and determine how to increase the chance of winning a business situation. So they will think, they will strategize their marketing, for example, yeah, and to make effort to get the odds in their favor. And of course, they don't take unnecessary risks. Yeah, they know that there are some risks to be taken, to be considered, but they will study how the risk will affect into their business. Number three is internal locus of control. They believe that success or failure is determined by their own effort. Yeah, they believe fully in themselves. Yeah, they don't believe that success or failure of their ventures were determined by fate or luck. Yeah, that means they didn't really put that as luck. But as a Muslim, I think we also have to understand how much effort you have done. Sometimes also you have to believe in fate of luck. Yeah, this is a bit controversial when we talk about the fate in Islam way of doing business. But anyway, this is what Western believe that we call it internal locus of control. This behavior is consistent with self-confidence and desire to take personal responsibility, that everything will be under their own burden. That means they understand that whatever success of the failure in the business, that will depend on their effort. All right, number four here is tolerance for failure. So these high achievers take failure as a learning experience, that they understand that they will face some challenges to the extent of failure in the business. But they don't easily really become disappointed, devastated, yeah, or discouraged by any setbacks or difficulty that they faced in the midst of business competition, because they know the competition is very stiff. They have to compete with other people in the same industry and so on. So as such, many successful entrepreneurs believe that they learn more from the earlier failure. This is a part of the learning process. And then they will learn from the earlier failure than from their earlier success. So so that they will be aware in the future how to tackle failures in the business in the future. Number five, they really would like to seek feedback. They have strong desire to actively seek and use feedback to know how well they are doing, and also how to improve or review their performance. That is very important. And most of the successful entrepreneurs, even though they don't have a very formal education, but they are quick learners. Yeah, these are different because I would say that these people, they learn from the street, they learn from the experience that they have, so that they will become very quick learners to learn something through experience. Number six is integrity and reliability. With this help to build and sustain trust and confidence. This also will help to endure the relationship between entrepreneurs, partners, customers, suppliers, and stakeholders. So this is very, very important to have that kind of integrity and reliability among the entrepreneurs. So because people will trust you, people will, would like to do business with you because you're very sincere in doing this kind of business relationship. All right. Now we look into competence motivation. Beside the three social motives that we mentioned earlier, a successful entrepreneur should also have the competence motivation. So competence motivation is a drive to do high quality work. So this is very important that entrepreneur should have in their mind that high quality of work is very, very vital in their business. So the next one, competence motivated entrepreneur, first to seek mastery in job or task that they are undertaking, and develop problem solving skill and strive to be innovative. So when they have that competent motivated entrepreneur, they'll be able to do all these three kind of tasks. In general, they tend to perform good work because the inner satisfaction they feel and esteem they gain from others due to their competence. If you are not competent enough, it's very difficult to have a strong will, a strong desire for you to be success. So these are the how the competence motivation motivate the entrepreneurs to be successful. All right. Here we have personal entrepreneurial competency. which this term refer to the key characteristic that should be possessed by successful entrepreneurs in order to perform their function effectively as an entrepreneur. Alright, so based on McClellan and McBurn 1985, they listed the entrepreneurial competencies, which number one is initiative, that entrepreneurs should be able to take actions that go beyond their requirement, job requirement, and to act fast. So he or she is always ahead of others and able to become a leader in the field of business. So that means you must take charge, that you feel that you know that there is your own business, and how to improve your business, how to compete with others. So you must have that kind of initiative. So examples here: do things before being asked or compelled by the situations. That means before other people think about that, before other people do before you. So you are actually take action very fast in order for you to compete, and to extend the business into new areas, product and services. That means you expand your business to diversify your business to different areas and so on. Number two, sees and acts as anything, situation as opportunities. So an entrepreneur always looks for and takes action on opportunities. That means you see something, you see problem as an opportunity. So anything that you see is actually a new business opportunities. Sees unusual opportunities to obtain financing, equipment, land, workspace, or assistance as part of the opportunities. Number two, of course, being an entrepreneur, you should be able to have that kind of persistence or repeated effort to take different actions to overcome an obstacle, in order for you to reach your goals. So the examples here: take repeated or different actions to overcome an obstacle. Take action in the face of a significant obstacle. So these are, you keep on repeating your effort, so that you won't be you feel that it can be done. So you are so persistent on doing something. And number four, information seeking, meaning that an entrepreneur is able to take action and how to seek information to help achieve business objective or to clarify business problems. So information seeking is, that means you want to get more information, so that you're going to act based on this information, the correct and accurate information. And for example, does personal research on how to provide a product or service. So this kind of thing will help them to improvise their product or service. Consult experts, or experienced person to get relevant information. That means you get the people in charge, the people direct who have the experience, so that you will get the knowledge from them, the experience that they have, to be able for you to go ahead, with a lot of things that maybe perhaps you stuck in your mind and so on. Seek information or ask questions to clarify a client's or supplier's needs, because the needs from the clients and also suppliers that will be different. So they want, to get information, so they'll be able to have the same opinion or the same mentality of the supplier or even the client. Now, the next one, personally undertakes under market research, analysis, or investigation. So for you to do your business, of course, you have to do some analysis or some homework for you, such as market research. For example, even if you run a business of a preschool, for example, you have a lot of competitors in your area. So what you would do also, you have to find how many numbers of students in each of the center of each of the competitors. So perhaps in the morning you go to one school, you count how many shoes that they have in that school. So that will determine the numbers of students. Of course, you don't go direct with them, but at least you get some information by doing your own market research or your own homework. And also use contacts, networking, to obtain useful information is also part of information seeking. Number 5 here, concern of high quality of work. So of course we talk about the certain standards of excellence which give you a certain greater satisfactions. When you perform well and you give a certain standards of excellent work, good work, a quality of work, high quality of work, that will give you a greater satisfaction. So in this case, states a desire or produce or sell a top or better quality product or service. And next, compare your own work, your own company's work favorably to that of others. Number 6 is commitment to work contract. So an entrepreneur places the highest priority of getting a job completed, as stipulated within the stipulated time. You make personal sacrifice or expense extraordinary effort to complete a job. Also accept full responsibility of problems in completing the job. So pitches with workers or works in their place to get the job done. You have to control your staff, everything to make sure that you have promised the time frame to complete your job. And the next one, express a concern for satisfying the customer. Perhaps, once you deliver your product to your customer, you want to get a feedback from the customer to make sure they are happy what they get. So this is a commitment to work contract that you have with your customers. All right. The next one is efficiency orientation. So a successful entrepreneur, you always want to find things to be done faster and with a few resources at a lower cost. That means that will be how efficient you are. You must have that kind of orientation so that you will find ways to do things faster using certain method or ways or tools or technologies, perhaps with the lower cost. Use information or business tool to improve efficiency. That means to make things fast, perhaps you need a lot other things to help you. For example, laptop, a computer, technology, equipment. So that will produce your products faster. To express concern about the cost versus benefit of some improvement, change, or even other cost of action should be considered. The next one is systematic planning, which an entrepreneur develops and uses logical step-by-step plans to reach goals. For example, what they would do, perhaps to plan by breaking a large task down into subtasks. You have a big a huge kind of task, so you divide into subtasks. You plan as a systematic way of doing work and develop plan that anticipate obstacles. You also in the meantime also having said that you've planned something, but at the same time also you know that there will be some obstacles that will hinder for you to produce faster as you plan. So evaluate alternatives. Perhaps when you have problems, you must consider also some ways of I would say that to solve the problem. So you must consider or evaluate some other alternatives. Takes a logical and systematic approach to activities. That is also part of systematic planning. Alright. The next one is problem solving, which a successful entrepreneur identify new and potentially unique ideas to achieve this goal. For example, you may switch to an alternative strategy in order for you to reach your goal. So perhaps you have your own you have planned something, but in another way you also plan to have other alternative strategy, but towards the end of the day you want to achieve or to reach your goal. So the next one is generate new ideas and innovative solutions. Entrepreneurs do not stop what they do, but they have other ideas, a new fresh idea for them to become more innovative perhaps the problem solving will give them innovations, yeah, creating better solutions for their business. Number 10 is self-confidence. Of course, you have a strong belief in yourself and your own abilities. Yeah, that means you have your own potential. You are very good, to have a very self-confidence. So that will be express your confidence in own ability to complete a task. Stick to your own judgment in face of opposition or early lack of success. So these are very important for you to have, that you know that you can do it something. Yeah. So that is the confidence in yourself is very, very important to be a successful entrepreneur. Number 11 is assertiveness, which entrepreneur will confront problems and issues with others directly. So, when you have problems, you heard from your customers, so you will confront your customer to find out what are the problems so that you'll be able to improvise, directly with your customers. So tell others what they have to do. For example, reprimands or discipline those failing to perform as expected. That means even though you become a nice entrepreneur, a nice boss to your staff, but at the same time you must have your firmness, your assertiveness towards them, because you want to make sure that everything that you do, you control your staff, you will produce a very high quality of work or product. Number 12 is persuasion. The word comes from persuade, persuading, persuade or influence others for mobilizing resources, obtaining inputs, organizing production, and selling his or her product. So that is the what the boss or the entrepreneur should be persuasive enough to make sure everything, to organize everything. Resources can be human development, can be people, it can be money, it can be any inputs of materials, for example, to improvise the business and so on. So example of the persuasion is to convince someone to buy your product or service. When you do marketing, you make sure that everything equipped for your customers, your potential customers, so to be able to persuade them, to convince them to buy your product or even the service. To convince someone to provide financing, that means you're going to have to get some resources or financings, for example, that you try to convince other people to put some money in your business. To convince someone to do something else that he would like that person to do, that means you would like that person to do something to help you, then you try to convince that person. And then exerts own competence, ability, and other personal or company qualities, and also strong confidence in own company's products or services. You proud of your own company products or services that will help also to become that your company has produced a very good quality of product. Okay, this will be the last but not least, use of influence strategies. That means an entrepreneur is able to make use of influential people. So of course you need to use people to help you in business. Your networking, for example, your friends, for example, those that you know can help you. Your very good networking, that's very important to develop business contact. That means your friend will introduce with other friends. Even you can use influential people, politician, for example, as an agent to accomplish your own objective. Selectively limit the information given to others. That means the information that you're going to give, you limit to certain people only. And also use strategy to influence or persuade others. This is a part of the use of influence strategies. Alright, so these are actually what we discuss here about the this is about the motivations, yeah, in the entrepreneur. It's very interesting for you that you know that who are they actually, how, what motivate them, to be successful in their own business, because they have all the characteristic. This characteristic is very very useful for and anybody to be successful in entrepreneurship. So that we know that what motivate them, we know that who are they actually, what are the characteristic, what motivate them, what are the competency that they should have. So I think this will give you a very good perspectives about entrepreneurship, and any one of us here be able to run our own entrepreneurship business, entrepreneurial business, in can be any form of background. It can be done because as long as you have this kind of characteristic and also competency. All right, I hope you have understood today's lecture, and very informative for you, and I hope that will help you a lot, yeah, even in the future, for you to become a successful entrepreneurs. So with this, I end my chapter number 2, entrepreneurial and motivation and competency. Thank you very much.